So Michael, 20 years almost in the career, near the finishing line, so just thought we'd talk you through a few key moments, and I see you smile at this one already. This is back in '99. You're at West Ham with Joe Cole and a few of the West Ham guys, so looking quite young there.
Great days there.
Yeah.
Brilliant days, yeah. I mean, we won the Youth Cup '97. No, won the Youth Cup '99. Sorry, I moved down in '97. Won the Youth Cup in '99, and made my debut then. It was unbelievable days. I mean, it's starting out in your career. It's exciting. You know what I mean? You don't know which way it's going to go. Are you going to get in the first team or you're not? Are you going to get in the first team and stay there or you're not?
Did you have a few kind of like growth issues as well? You grew at wrong times.
I had groin problems after about 2001, I think, 2001, and I ended up having 3 operations and kind of struggled to get to the bottom of it really. So that kind of held me back, and that was the season we got relegated as well. So it was.
Yeah, because a lot of the guys moved on fairly quickly. Joe Cole, Rio, they all went on, and you stayed. When then you stayed, and I think a lot of players go back to West Ham and get a bit stiff, but you never did because you showed a bit of, whether it's loyalty or just you stayed around when they went down.
Yeah, I'll get away with it then. Yeah, I mean, I'll be totally honest. I never thought about leaving. I'd been injured a lot that season towards the end. When I did play, hadn't really been in great form, and I had come out of the England squad. I just needed to play football again and kind of get going again, get my career back on track a little bit. So it was a tough year in the Championship. Don't get me wrong. It's not where you want to be, and you're kind of looking at the Premier League and looking at England squads and thinking I'm miles away, you know. But I'm glad that I went down there because it's kind of toughened me up a little bit mentally as much as anything to be what I am now, you know.
But then you went out to Tottenham, and there's not a lot of great love between Spurs and West Ham, so you know that was a bold move to make, I guess.
Yeah, it was actually. When when you look at it on paper, it was. And I never really got much stick for it from West Ham fans. Nothing that stands out. I obviously must have got a little bit, but not. I think it was where we were still in the Championship. Tottenham were like 5th, 6th, 7th or so in the Premier League. So it was. I had to go. Do you know what I mean? And I think probably everyone realised actually, you know, it's a choice you've got to make. So yeah, I went. I loved it at Tottenham. 2 great years at Tottenham. I loved it. Great lads. Got Martin Yao was a big influence on us. I had great times there. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to leave Tottenham. I felt so happy and comfortable there, but obviously when Man United come knocking.
I mean, the picture we've got here is you kind of holding your throat.
Was that the last game of the season or not? No,
that was the Sandygate when you had to get results at West Ham, and I think you don't look very well. You look pretty pale to be honest.
I was horrendous. I came off. I had to come off. I remember I was one of the ones that were ill. I was really bad, and I wasn't going to play. And then I thought, oh, come on, you got to play. Like, you just get through it. And after, I don't know, it must have been about an hour or so. He was going to bring someone on and take Edgar off. And I ran over and I said, "You've got to take me off. I can't move. Yeah, I was finished." And that's the only time I've ever asked to come off. We ended up losing 2-1 and didn't get in the Champions League.
Was it Lasagna?
No, I don't think. I think it was just a virus, to be honest.
Right. What, they went through the whole team?
There was a good 4 or 5 of us who had it bad, and then there was a few who kind of weren't great. But I was horrendous. I was.
Because of the circumstances as well that Arsenal beat you too. It was just.
Yeah, it was a big day. That massive day for the club trying to get in the Champions League. It would have been a massive jump, a massive statement for us to get past Arsenal at that stage. So it was quite sad how it sort of fizzled out, really.
Before we go on to Man United, which you made me that summer, we've got pictures of you at the World Cup with England. It's 34 England caps in 14 years. It's a lot of time, but not a lot of caps. You must feel frustrated how it played out in England career. Yeah,
it's frustrating in some ways, but then, do you know what? It is what it is. It's a tough one to judge, you know. Like sometimes you think about it and you think, could have done this, could have done that, could have been picked at certain times when I was playing well, but I didn't get picked. But then certain games, I look at myself and think, when I did play, maybe I didn't play great, so I'm not going to blame anyone for it.
You retired at one point and came back, didn't you?
Yeah, it was. I was getting to the stage where I wasn't in the team, and I was literally. I felt like I was just there just because I was playing well at United and playing for United. It was almost like they had to pick us, but they didn't really want to play us. So, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I was finding it hard to go to England, and which is it sounds crazy because that was my dream as a kid, you know. But it was affecting me coming back to United, you know. It was taking me a week or two to get back to getting that edge come back for United. And
you sat around doing nothing for 10 days, and
and kind of mentally as well. It was hard. So I just thought, you know what, I'm better off not doing this and kind of concentrating on my club career, and that's what I've done.
I mean, obviously at the time you had Lampard, Gerrard, Owen Hargreaves that had a good couple of years. It was decent competition, but you were playing for Man United to win the Champions League, so at the back of your mind you're not thinking, I deserve more of a chance at it?
There was stages, I'll be honest, when I did think that, yeah. Kind of almost thinking about what have you got to do to get a run in the team. And then maybe I got a game or two. I never had a run of games, that's probably my biggest thing, is I didn't have a run of games. It was always a one here and a one there. Some I played well, some maybe I didn't, but I always felt that the ones that I didn't, and that was it. It's like kind of like your chance is done for another while, you know. So I never really had a run of games, which it's just one of them things. I'm not blaming anyone for it.
Spent quite a few years working under this guy, Sir Alex Ferguson, won a few trophies. I mean, how do you reflect on working for Sir Alex?
What's not been said already? I think it's you know, what a man. He was a massive influence on me personally. Not so much what he sat down and said to me, but just more the aura that he had, and the feelings that he gave out, and the culture that he had produced at United when I came into that dressing room was he's just will to win, and to win again and win again. The hunger was unbelievable, and it never wavered right till the very last day, and massive influence on it.
I mean, it wasn't all plain sailing though, was it? Because I mean, I can remember a few times, 2009, 10, 11, when the times when you went to the team for weeks, and it was like, where's Michael Carrick? And he'd say, oh, well, you know, he's working away. And I mean,
It was the start of the season for about three years in a row. He used to tell me, he used to say, oh, you don't play well to the start of winning anyway. So, but he was, at the time I was like thinking, what's he talking about? How can I not get in the team? But then I'd get in the team around sort of October time, or September, October. I'd missed 4 6 weeks or something. And then kind of once I got in the team, I always pretty much stayed in the team, and I always said, the trust that we all had in him was unbelievable. And I kind of thought, well, if that's his decision, I'll be ready for when I'm needed, and when it really counts in the business and near the end. As long as I'm playing them games and we're winning things, then I was kind of accepting not playing for a spell. It was kind of his way of managing the group. Some lads started the season flying and fizzled off. Some, like say me, he said I didn't start well and finished strong, so he kind of utilised that and used it. Clever.
Next one, I mean, this is one of the best goals you've scored. Man United 7, Roma 1. I think you scored 2 goals that night, both from distance.
Yeah, that was one of those. That was right up there, one of the most special nights. I think that it was kind of summed up them early years at United. I think it was the speed, the intensity, the quality of the football it was too much for Roma to cope with at that stage, but we kind of surprised ourselves, I think, listen, it was a bit of a freak result. Like, you know, no matter how well you play, you not very often you're going to score that amount of goals, but it was, I don't know, the first goal I scored, which was big, and then it was a second and a third so quickly, and the place was just, honestly, it was electric, the atmosphere was incredible. And it kind of just bounced from it. Like, we'd score one, the place would go mad, and we'd get a buzz from it, and we'd score again, and you just keep going up with it. You think, how long can that last? And by the end of it, I mean, I scored, and I kind of almost started laughing as if, like, what? How's this happening? You know, like that. It was unbelievable.
Was that the night when you probably thought, I'm a Man United player? It wasn't the first game. It was like towards the end of your first season that you felt you'd arrived?
I remember coming off the bench and Mick Phelan saying something to me after that. He went, "How much did you cost again?" And I think you just paid some of that back. And yeah, that was, I'm guessing that was probably about the February, March time or something of this first
April
season.
May, yeah, it was quite late in the season.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
April, yeah.
But yeah, it was obviously later on, but it was a big night, that one.
That night in Moscow, Russia, Champions League winner.
I mean, that's the top of the tree for me, memory-wise, and the feeling that gave us was the best I've ever had in my life. So,
Did you score a penalty that night?
yeah.
What was that like, taking a penalty in a penalty
One
shootout?
of the worst things I've ever done. The worst thing, I'd say.
Yeah.
The feeling before that was just, you wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Because I can just imagine the walk from the centre circle. It was at the United end as well, wasn't it? So you know you've got all these people behind you thinking the reaction's going to be ecstasy or agony.
It was, yeah, I mean, penalties, that feeling like that, when it's hard watching them, isn't it? Because you're on edge watching them, but having to actually get yourself in a frame of mind to take one, in the back of your mind knowing the consequences for not, is it's a tough place to be, but thankfully, I mean, it all came and it worked, and you know, we got our hands on the trophy, which was, the feeling was ridiculous.
So when John Terry was walking up, did you think it had gone?
I think I all thought it was pretty much, it was gone. Without giving up hope, because you know, it's still there, isn't it? But that's the first one I didn't look for. I didn't look at JT's pen. So I didn't see what happened at the time, but that was agony, up and down that night. That's why I think by the end, when we did win it, the feeling was so good, because the roller coaster we went through to get there was mad.
Now, that was 2008. I think about 2 months after that, Man City changed a little bit and it became a different rivalry in Manchester, didn't it? So the noisy neighbours, what's that been like since they came into town?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a big change since I came. 2006, I remember, we beat City. It wasn't called the Etihad then, I don't think, but we beat them at the Etihad. Edwin saved the penalty and we won 1-0, and that was pretty much clinched us the league first year round. And we were always favourites to go there and win. And obviously the years have gone by, they've developed, they've spent more money, and they've obviously improved an awful lot. So now they're up there challenging every year, like ourselves, like Chelsea now. So.
You've been around now for what, 10, 11 years? Is that game bigger than the Liverpool game now?
I think the Liverpool game's special. I think they're different games, really. I think they're different games. I think if you're looking at the City game now, I think the Liverpool game, because of just the history and the tradition and everything that goes behind it, it runs deep, doesn't it? The City one obviously runs deep as well, but it's just kind of, for me, it's got a slightly different feel.
2016 you won the FA Cup, and I know it meant a lot to you because of all the trophies. I mean, you've won the Europa League since, but that was the one that seemed to complete the set. I think you and Wayne have been waiting a long time for that.
Yeah, I mean, probably getting greedy in the end. I never thought it owed us. You know, it wasn't a case of, oh, we're at Man United, we've one of the things we should win the FA Cup. It was never that, but it was a case of, we had 2007, we lost the final, and we had chances after that, good chances as well, to get to a final and win it. And for all the success we had in winning leagues, you know, we should have won an FA Cup before then, you would have thought, but to finally get it was a bit of relief, if I'm honest, a bit of relief to think, right, we've finally done it. But you know, obviously Wayne asking us to lift the cup was a special moment, and kind of shows the man that he is. And that's for the kids to be old enough to understand that one was special, really, and that's the one that sticks out in their minds.
We've got a picture here with your coach's gear on. What's that like? I mean, how's that going to play out you working under Jose?
Yeah, I think in time, I'll be totally honest, I think for me as well, it's all new, you know. It's a totally different role. It's one I'm really looking forward to, actually. I'm ready for it. It's kind of the natural progression, and one that I'm fully committed to do, and I'm not just doing it because as something to give me something to do when I finish playing. You know, it's the start of a new chapter, it's start fresh, to committing to be as good a coach as I can be, and learn from the likes of Jose and his staff. So I think in time it'll kind of find my way, find my role, find kind of input I can have, and hopefully it'll be successful.
I mean, is coaching your thing, or do you want to manage?
Do you know, it's a tough one to answer. At this moment in time, if you said, do you want to manage, I'd probably say yeah. At some point, I probably would, yeah. It's something that I'm interested in, it's something that I've kind of thought about in recent times, so, but I'm not getting ahead of myself. As I say, I've had a decent career, I've been a decent player, but coaching's a whole different ball game as well, and I could take the experience that I've got, but there's so much more to it than that, and I wouldn't ever take it for granted to say I can just jump into a new role and it'll be easy and it'll be a breeze, because I understand it won't be like that.
I guess it also helps as well that you played under Sir Alex and you played under Jose, but you've played at United now where it's not gone so well, so you learn from the difficult experience as well as the good ones. Yeah,
and I think sometimes you learn more, most of the time you learn more from the ones that don't go well, or the bad experiences, I think. Personally, as a team, about other people, I've always felt that the ones that haven't gone so well is the hard ones to take, but the ones that you take most from. So yeah, I've certainly had a mix of the ups and the downs.
The best player you've played with, we've got Paul Scholes, and this is he the guy?
I'd have to say Scholes, just because I've played so close to him, you know. I think I've played with some world class players, some of the best that's played the game, but Scholes, he was just something else. I still think I'm just fortunate to see him train every day and watch them train. The experience of just having the best seat in the house, stood next to him, passing the ball, and just watch what he can do with it. It was just outrageous how good he was. So I'd have to say him. Listen, I could pick 10 or 15 of players that I've played with, and over the years, Ronaldo, Wazza, Rio, Giggsy, Gaznev, unbelievable fullback, unbelievable captain, but for me, Scholes, just nicks it.
It's the final question. It's one of the most important ones as well. Your future plans. You've set up a foundation. I know you had a big time at Wallsend Boys Club. Is it based on the fact that the start that gave you, and you're trying to give something back like that?
Yeah, it's just my childhood really. Ever since I'm really aware of the childhood I had and how happy it was, and what the boys club gave me, what my parents gave me, my family, the surroundings that I had. We didn't have a lot. We didn't have much money, but I was a happy kid. I was safe. Due to, as I say, my parents, but the boys club was a massive influence, and I played there till I was 16, till I moved to West Ham. Every Sunday I'd play for them. It was something that once I got into the professional game, started having a career, I was always thinking I wanted to give something back, and then the catalyst for that was the testimonial, that kind of triggered that, setting up the foundation to enable to give back in some way, and to raise the money that we did, $1.5 million, was just blew my mind, to be honest, to raise that much money. But now there's a responsibility that comes with that, to spend it wisely, to look after it, and give as many kids the opportunity as we possibly can to be safe, to develop, and just give them a good environment to come and leave whatever problems or what's going on in their life away from it, come through, enjoy the football, but more importantly enjoy being around people and learning and developing.
Brilliant. Good luck with it. Cheers, Michael. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Cheers.